Hey there and welcome to Costa Rica Story. And it's raining here in Costa Rica, but it's not the huge rain that we thought we were going to get this weekend, because that never materialized. It's Tuesday and we're just getting our normal Tuesday afternoon shower. And the theme for me this week with my life here in Costa Rica is maintenance. I've got 3 different problems with my car. And the first problem was my fault because I left a bag of garbage in the back of my car, and I thought I dropped it off, and I didn't. So it sat there for a week. And I ended up with a little problem with la cucarachas. La cucarachas, yes. So I put some of the roach motels in my car for a few days, and then I took my car to the car wash, and they vacuumed the heck out of it. So hopefully that problem's resolved. The other problem is it rains here in Costa Rica, and I've got some seals on my doors and some seals on the hatch in the back that apparently they don't seal that well. So inside of my car, there's like a little place where I keep my fire extinguisher. It's kind of an indentation, and that is just full of water when it rains hard. So I've got to have that checked out. I don't know where it's leaking in, but it's leaking in. And when it rains here, as you can see, it rains. And the third problem with my car is the horn doesn't work. And a horn in Costa Rica when you're driving is one of the most important forms of communication. So I've got to get that checked out and fixed. I've got several pairs of Uvita sandals. They're my official walking around sandal, and I love them, but they have a tendency to separate. And I'm on my 3rd pair of Uvita sandals. And you know, $75 sandals should not just separate like that, but it does. Fortunately, I have a friend whose father is a cobbler, and I'm going to take my shoes, have them, she said that he bakes them, so they're going to be baked. I'm going to take my shoes. I don't know if they put adhesive on it and bake them or how they do that, but if they do, I'll have 3 good pairs of sandals, which will be awesome. I really don't want to buy another pair of sandals. And the maintenance is not just confined to my car and my shoes. I need some maintenance on myself, because this past weekend I went to Playa Vantanes on my bicycle. And Playa Vantanes, there's a lot of hills, a lot of ups and downs getting there. And I use my brakes a lot. And what I wasn't really familiar with was the disc brakes on the new mountain bikes. That gets really hot when you use them, and I definitely use them a lot. I drove into Vantanes, and I was getting ready to cross the river. I was going to walk my bike across the river, and there was a car coming, so I stopped, and I was letting the car go by, and I leaned my bicycle against my leg. And when I did that, the very, very oven hot disc touched my leg. It's kind of like a muffler burn on a motorcycle, because it was actually pretty bad. It was, I think, maybe a 2nd degree burn. What do they call it? It bubbled up. It's kind of gross. I'm not going to gross you out and show it to you. That's kind of hampered me this week. Hopefully it will be better before I make my trip back to the US pretty soon. If you follow this channel, you know that I like to ride my bike a lot around here, and I ride my bike in a lot of water. And I've had my bike since January, and it was time to have some work done on it. And I did a video earlier in the year about Nahovi bicycle shop here in Uvita, and they've since, sadly, they've gone out of business. Apparently the shop is empty now, but fortunately for me and anybody else that needs work on their bicycle, there's another bike shop here in Uvita called La Casa del Ciclista, and it's on the waves to the Whale Tail. On the left, you can't miss it. There's a big sign there. But I went there and I got a tune-up on my bike. And my bike was in kind of bad shape. There were some bearings I could hear grinding, because I ride through a lot of puddles and water. So what they do, they take your bike and they take the whole thing apart, and they clean it, and they lubricate everything. They replaced the bearing, a couple bearings that went bad here, replaced the brake pad. But I showed my bike to a friend of mine, and they said, well, you got a new bike? And it's like, no, they just are that good. Is it raining? Is it raining? I have to say I'm relieved that we didn't get that huge rain that they were talking about with the tropical wave number 13. But I have to admit, I am a little bit disappointed. I wanted to do that weatherman thing where I was going to be out in the storm with my umbrella like an idiot. But what are you going to do? This water's really wet. Why am I so overexposed? Well, that's all I've got for this edition of Costa Rica Story. Make sure you like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, but most importantly, put those comments down below, because I really want to hear what you've got to say. Hasta luego.